And just going into that year, I kind of obviously I mentioned it. Every Rhode Island fan knows, you guys, your team, you individually will live, forever, obviously, as one of the greats to play or ever put on a URI jersey. But
I think not the best or not the greatest.
the
Not
best,
now.
the best, the best,
I'm
Lamar.
playing. I'm playing.
The...
That's a joke.
no,
That's a
but
joke.
no. But I mean, if we're talking talent, the best. I talked to Jim Harrick. Harrick said, absolutely. Of all the guys, even at UCLA, you're the most talented. But
I appreciate it.
with all of that, I talked obviously to Tavorris a little before this, and that year obviously had its ebbs and flows. But when you look at that Atlantic 10 tournament, how locked in you guys were, and just that moment, you've had such great moments throughout your career. Where does
Mhm.
that rank in terms of like hitting that shot against Temple and bringing home that championship?
Overall athlete on this Temple basketball team hasn't played a whole lot of minutes, and he's fresh.
Johnny Gray letting them get set. Blows the whistle. Here we go.
Good.
Odom with 4. Odom 30 feet away. Jumper in the air. He's got it. Lamar Odom has won it for Rhode Island. Works.
I mean, well, I played for USA basketball, and won 2 NBA championships, and, won a 6 Man of the Year award. When I was filming in a reality show, that was tough. But I would say like individual, on the court, feet, like moment for Lamar Odom, that would probably have to be my number one.
I got to ask you, are you mad they didn't give you the ball and they gave the ball to Lamar with 5 seconds left against Temple?
Nah, I'm not. I'm not. So you gotta understand, me and Lamar played all through high school. So I was used to them thinking he was the star, and I really was. So I kind of let him live on that one. We talked about it after. He really gave me a high five. Said, "T-Bell, I appreciate you letting me take that shot." I'm like, you know what? It doesn't bother me. My whole attitude is let my team do what they're supposed to do. So
I like it.
my job was to be a cheerleader at that point, because I wasn't a good free throw shooter, and I had to sit I was on a bench when that happened, and I made a mental note from that moment to make sure that I can make my free throws. And if you look at my career, every year my free throws went up like 10%. So
Yep. No,
that was a big deal, though. Like for that moment that I couldn't be on the court, but I was on the court. So
John Chaney watches tape too. He not gonna let Lamar beat him. I mean, anybody on our team could beat him, but Lamar, and that's the way I would play it too. And but I said, hey, Lamar, you got it. We can't lose the game, but we can go overtime. But so we did the same thing. We tried to get him into the middle, but they doubled him. And then when he drove right, left, they tripled him. Yeah. And he was just big enough to jump over everybody else.
What stands out for you most about that moment? I mean, just seeing that ball go in. Obviously, you guys all just follow Lamar the opposite end of the floor, but just what do you relive in terms of that moment?
As soon as that shot went in, everything we went through just came to the front of everything. Like everything we've been through that whole year with the ups and downs, the wins and losses, a lot of stuff we went through off the court. All of that stuff, it just surfaced, and it was an emotional time for all of us because we know we put in a lot of work to get to that point.
And I was just telling my manager right here, I remember after the game, I remember going back to the hotel, even though it was hard for me to get a sentence out at the press conference. I was so emotional. But after I kind of came back down and got back to the hotel and opened the hotel door, and it's like 30, I mean, I don't know how many people were, and it felt like the whole state was down, and everybody was just going fucking crazy. I'll never forget that.